And we're back. Day 111 of this winter cut, which is feeling really dumb to say it's winter cut because it suddenly went from like 8 inches of snow the other day to being like plus 15. So might have to finally pull the trigger and call them the spring cut. But how are you guys doing today? Me, I think one of the biggest metrics that I rely on to tell me whether or not I am overcooking it during a diet isn't performance, but if my performance sucks and my body weight is suddenly like springing up, that tells me that I'm not getting fatter. It's a matter of me being really smashed and starting to hold on to some water. And I was 235 this morning after being 230 on Wednesday. So I think it is time to commit to that little bit more of a pull-in backage. And for that, today still is my max effort squat day, but what I gave myself in the Team Activated program and app is a little bit of an underloading strategy, because if I pick a bar and setup that is going to be so hard that I can't handle a lot of weight, it's going to kind of act like a deload without actually taking a deload, so I can still do my max effort stuff today. Which makes me feel really smart about bringing the giant cambered bar in earlier this week, because back in the day, multiply Seth squatting into this thing was really freaking good in it when he was sitting way back, but raw squat Seth sitting his anterior chain feels like he's gonna die every time he uses it, so this bar is gonna be perfect to challenge exactly what I need, my brace right now, while letting me do something hard that hopefully doesn't actually kill me. And worst case, if I do die squatting with this thing today, at least that means I won't have to diet anymore. And Tyler finally showed up after 4 days of missing training again, but he got a brand new fancy pair of A7 knee sleeves, which means that I'm gonna wear his old ELITEFTS sleeves because my sleeves are really loose right now with the degree of skinniness I'm experiencing. So hopefully these guys hug my knees just a little bit tighter. Are you sure these aren't elbow sleeves?
No.
Like, how is the 5X this small? It doesn't make sense.
Rucker gave them to me. He's like,
they're probably elbow sleeves.
No, he said they're knee.
This may defeat the purpose of trying to use a lighter knee sleeve because of how tight it is, but I'll be okay with it today. And like, the reason I'm questioning the fact that these are in fact knee sleeves being a 5XL is the ones that I really wear that are really freaking loose right now are a 4, so I don't know if this makes sense.
Really big elbow sleeves.
Can't even get it over my foot. I mean, some people have big arms. You wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know anything about this.
Update, they were definitely elbow sleeves because I didn't even make it to my first warm-up set before my feet were numb, so I ripped them off and put my sleeves back on. And it's like, yeah, they are a little bit loosey-goosey, but I'd rather have loosey-goosey than numb feet, especially if we don't need to squat super duper heavy today. And I think after last week, my only goal is to not tie with Tyler again, because that was pretty sad. Big brace. Good. Also running her a little bit high bar today again. And this rack is much less sketchy to walk out from, especially with the collars inside the plate, so good call. Big brace, big pack. Good. And we're going belt on for 3 because I'm a pansy. And like, squats themselves feel way better than last Saturday to the super low box, but the bar feels so freaking heavy on my back that I'm a little bit worried that skinny guy might be keeping up again. Let's go. Tight. Big pack. Good. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit more worried. And on that note, because I learned my lesson with last week's deadlift, we're going 35-pound jump, not 45. And by 35-pound jump, I mean 35-pound plate jump, so 70 pounds on there. I really don't want this to be my top set, so I'm gonna do my best to start waking up a little. Walkout feels sketchy as balls, but I think we can go up. And to be clear, I absolutely freaking hate that that is a weight that I have to take seriously right now. But I also understand that feeling like this is going to be necessary to get where I need to get in terms of this cut. And getting where I need to get in terms of this cut is necessary to accomplish my big goals. So we just got to suck it up and deal with it. Pull in, pull in. Yep. Good. I'm at least feeling better with my chances today than I was last week at this point, though. Once again, I really don't want this to be my top set, so we're going to try to wake up some more. I think that was top set. Because, I mean, the goal is to challenge my brace with that variation, not absolutely crater myself. And if you saw that, like, shudder through the torso on that eccentric, that was me going, I don't know what the hell I'm doing while this skinny. So after Tyler takes his set, we're going to go and do something about it. And now to find out how much I'm going to get my ass kicked by again today. Let's go. Settle. Big squeeze, big ribs down. Yeah. A little funky.
Forgot how humbling the bar is.
Yeah, like
as soon
it
as
gets.
it kicks that weight forward, you're like, oh.
It's like when you get the brace limit, you're just like, shit.
Yeah, it kicks you forward so hard. I forgot to swing. I thought doing the spider bar bullshit, like the
Yep.
ones we were doing with SSD for bad, would help this. No, it's completely different.
Yeah, so we are doing something about it, indeed. Because it's like all the ab work I have been doing clearly isn't doing it if my brace still feels that shitty. So we gotta start doing something else. And plan for that is gonna be some roundy ass SSB good mornings, because if it feels like an ab problem but doing more and more ab work isn't fixing it, it's probably gonna be an erector problem to lock in that brace. We'll go up a little bit. And like, I'm very used to my back being a strong point on all of my lifts, but the thing is I'm also used to my waist being literally 16 inches bigger right now. And when your waist size does decrease when you lose weight, erector strength in the brace becomes so much more important because you don't have as much abdomen to rest your ribcage on, and erectors are going to need to pick up that slack. That is why it is so freaking important to have a solid framework to analyze lifts and analyze weak points, because just because something is a weak point and you start doing work on it doesn't mean that you're always just going to need to work on that thing and continually always bring it up, because if you're doing a good enough job at attacking the limiting factor on your lift, it's eventually going to stop being the limiter and you're going to have to do something else. That becomes even more important if you're doing something like I am right now, where I am going through a pretty freaking massive cut. Like, it makes sense that the thing that I used to need to prioritize, I'm not going to need to prioritize it, and being able to recognize that and start doing something about it, maybe it won't catch up at the rate I want it to right now because I am in that really significant cut. But if I can start catching it up, I will be way better off when the food comes back in. So that is what we are going to be doing here. And that framework that I've taken over a decade to develop is exactly why everyone in the team is getting better so freaking fast. And the programming in the team is really good, but it's not just the lifters in the team following the programming that is driving progress at the rate it's happening. It's the fact that I'm looking at every lift that someone does, main work and accessory, so we can pay attention to how they're trending in order to figure out exactly what it is that the lifter needs to be doing to attack their weak points while not ignoring their strengths. And as we do that, we are going to see how things change so we can further refine the programming for them so they can keep progressing over and over and over again. And the reason I am so freaking fired up about the team is that a lifter can sign up that's been stuck for weeks, months, years, and then we do just that for them, and they're able to start making progress again almost instantly. And what's even better is how the platform's set up It's letting me do that for so many people every single day, and it is my favorite thing on earth. Because no matter what it is that you're stuck on in training, there is someone in the team right now that has been through it, and we have helped them figure it out. And because of that, not only are you going to be able to get help from me, they're going to be able to give you support and reinforcement as you go, and it just becomes so freaking cool to watch. So if you think you could be making better progress, get in the team, and we will figure out what you need to be doing so that you can do it. And for me right now, it's more of this bullshit. And for someone who used to be able to do that with 4 plates in the bar, that is very embarrassing, but I'm almost happy that it's that hard. Because if that is that bad right now, number one, that means that I should be able to get better at it. And number two, if that is that bad, getting better at it should help me fix some of my problems. Also, what is telling me that this is at least going to be part of the ticket to figuring the brace out is that number one, it is absolutely roasting the shit out of my erectors. But number two, it's also roasted my abs way harder than it usually does too. So good move, bringing her back in. And what I'm trying to focus on here is to initiate, I'm trying to pull the handles down. So I start by rolling the ribcage forward. Then I finish that by flexing my abs to pull me into even more flexion. And then when I get to the bottom, I have so much flexion that I have to overcome against the SSB. And it gets absolutely disgusting. So disgusting that I'm definitely not going to try to talk through the reps. I hope you can tell by the color that my face changed on that last rep that it was very not easy. Now that that is over, we are going to go do that whole not ignoring strong point thing because we're touching some quaddy quads. But remember, I am trying to tone down the overall fatigue level right now, so we're going to jam on this new fancy looking leg press to see if we can make it like hard on the quads, but not super hard on everything else. Ooh, this is nice. Also not sure if I like the unilateral. It's a little weird. I'm not used to that, but it's kind of exposing how much, I don't know, differently my legs want to work. Maybe I should be sticking in the unilateral. But I know that like a hack squat is pretty quad isolation in comparison to say a squat. But the thing is that a hack squat is so freaking hard that it's easy to overcook myself on it. Whereas a leg press, it's a little bit easier to make it a little bit more chilled, especially with what I'm feeling on the weird unilateral thing where I can't for the life of me talk and lower both legs evenly at the same time. If I really focus, almost, we'll go up though because this is pretty easy. Actually, I'll put the stoppers up, easy out, 2 more plates aside, and easy back into what is hopefully a work set because I really don't want to have to get up again to load more plates. I am such an idiot because like I can't for the life of me lower them evenly. Like it doesn't even feel uneven. It's just like the right one's going faster than the left. And like it doesn't even feel like anything's like letting go or it's weaker. It's just like my right side wants to go faster. I almost wonder like the max pump being kind of sketchy and like made in China, like it's just not evenly loaded. Because like a lot of these machines, like they feel really nice, but on some of the push ones, especially, like the handles are crooked to each other. So I can get even more even feel. I think we're gonna just put it together and stop trying to screw with the unilateral because it doesn't feel right. That feels so much like it feels like my legs are working evenly. It must be heavier on the one side than the other. And like split squats, single leg RDLs, like I don't have a major discrepancy, so I definitely think it is the machine and not me. So I'm okay with this. Actually, look at the stoppers. Cool. Like the right stopper's hitting the left stopper's like 2 inches away. It is uneven. Sick. But I mean, putting them together fixes the problem, so we'll add at least another plate. And I think because I was hitting the stoppers last set, I'll nudge the seat up a hole or so. And like, despite the relative unevenness on unilateral mode, having these guys so I can unrack it from a bit higher position is very, very nice. Yeah, this is good when they're locked together. Woo! Satisfied customer. And I have a feeling that watching Tyler do this is going to make me feel bad about myself again. Let's go. Yeah. Chug. Good. Yep. Good. Yeah, I feel bad about myself. But only running one work set right now because the whole trying to manage volume thing. So we're going to rip the shoes and sleeves off. We can embarrass ourselves even more with the easy angle Nordic curls. Tempted to try to re-record that because putting the machine up was really loud, but I think that I am too tired and diet fatigued right now to make that worth doing. So we're just going to get right to the embarrassment. I'm actually okay with that control. That was way better than Wednesday and lower than last week too on the Saturday. We're getting better. We're getting fatigued. And if you guys are wondering why Tyler is back here, I guess he was back there for the leg presses, but also back here for the Nordics. Tyler did hack squats instead of the round back SSB good mornings because his back is evidently very much not the problem based on how his squats tend to go. So it was better for him to prioritize hack squats, whereas better for me to prioritize the good mornings right now. Oh yeah. Look at them hammy jammies. Apparently, I also need to start walking on stilts all day for my job to be able to keep up with Tyler or something. The reason he's on stilts all day is his day job is ceiling texturing. He's not in a circus, to be clear.
Nowhere near at.
It would be cool, but probably wouldn't pay as well. Oh.
Go control. Yes.
There was nothing. There was freaking nothing. Oh boy. And like, even if that is very pathetic feeling right now, at least I know that doing them is making them better. So we are gonna keep on doing them. Also gonna make Tyler keep doing these as well, so that the power of embarrassment forces me to work harder. And now it's time to first make fun of Joel because he's somehow still not heavier than me.
Close, no?
Getting there, but you got some work to do.
What were you?
I was 235 because I.
So I'm getting closer now.
Yeah, you kind of are. So
You're,
yeah, maybe I got to get my shit together.
Pull back a bit there.
I think it's just like I'm so fucking fatigued. It's just water. Now that that's over with, we're gonna go try to find something user-friendly for some horizontal lat stuff, which I think leaves this guy as pretty much the only applicable option because number one, it feels really good, and number two, it's also selectorized, so I don't have to get plates out. Gonna raise the seat up though because that's a little bit too high of a pull for what I'm looking for. This might be too high, but
You're looking for like a lot.
yeah, because now I can get that round over the pad and really drive elbows down. Because a little more erector touching along with that lat definitely ain't gonna hurt me right now. And I think the last one might have been the tiniest bit too high for what I'm looking for, so dropping the seat down one hole and seeing if we can get a bit better feel on her. Yeah, that's what I was looking for in the first set. Yeah, we are pretty roasted right now. And I figure what we're going to finish her off with today is some feel-good banded hip flexor pull-in for no reason other than the fact that it feels good. And I want to do something that feels nice right now, so this is what we're going to jam out on. And it does, in fact, feel nice, so I'm okay with this. Much harder than I want it to be with how little of a band I'm using, though, so we're tired, but I know why I'm tired, so I'm okay with it. And based on how I feel this week, like I might need to pull back a little bit more and actually do a real deload, but I'm hoping that kind of just like, not half-assing the session, but just keeping her a little bit toned down should let me start catching up. Keeping the next couple toned down should let me start catching up. And I mean, if I start catching up, I just gotta not get too excited and ramp back up again. And we should be able to cruise on smoothly out from this point. But if that doesn't work as planned, I mean, we can always just tone down a little bit more, which I really don't want to do because I don't like feeling like I'm being lazy. But the thing is that sometimes if you are really cooked, like being lazy is going to be the necessary choice in order to help you get back to being more productive. And sometimes being lazy can be the most productive thing that you are able to do if you are kind of at that point where things are really shittered. But I don't think I'm quite at that point yet, so we're not going full lazy quite yet. Realize I said quite yet, like 4 words apart from each other, so I apologize for that, but brain working slow. And like, this is almost funny for me to be sitting here feeling like this right now because a couple of weeks ago I was like talking about like I don't understand how I feel this good with where food and body weight is, and then all of a sudden it's just like, and then I freaking die. And I think like the problem is like those days where I was excited about how good I felt, like I probably should have held myself back a little bit more and not pushed as hard as I could on those days. So I think it was like pushing as hard as I could on those days that did kind of put me in this fatigue hole. And now my job is to pull myself out of this fatigue hole. And like, as much as I'm talking about how I don't want to pull back, but I am going to anyways, one of the things I've struggled with on previous cuts is like not making these kind of decisions soon enough so that I'm forced to make them. And if I can make that decision of pulling back and doing the easier thing that is more mentally hard for me to step off the gas pedal, like doing that thing that I don't want to do, oftentimes, like if you are stuck, it's the thing that you've been avoiding, the thing that you haven't been doing, the thing that you kind of know you should but want to kind of talk yourself out of doing. It's that thing that's going to actually let you make more progress. And the thing that I've always talked myself out of doing is stepping off the gas pedal. And I think it is about time that I start to do that a little bit harder. I guess stepping off the gas pedal harder, stepping on the gas pedal lighter. I don't know. I'm not making sense anymore. But I think the point is that, again, if you're just doing the same thing over and over again and it's not working, like you are where you are because of what you're doing. And if you don't like what your results you're getting, you need to change either how you're thinking about what you're doing or how you're actually doing the thing, or maybe even what you're doing altogether. And on that note, like there will be a point in this cut as I continue to push down further and further and further. Like I still realistically have 20 or maybe even 30 pounds to go to get as lean as I need to be to do what I need to do. And there's going to be a point along that road where I'm going to have to get rid of barbell work just because it'll no longer be really worth doing with the amount of diet fatigue. And again, I'm not really looking forward to that point, but I at least know it's coming. I'm planning for it. And I think like if the fatigue hole doesn't come out over the next couple of weeks of pulling things back, I think I probably will pull that trigger sooner than later. But I'm doing it not to be lazy, but to allow myself to make the work that I am doing as productive as possible. Because as you guys can see in that squat, like that wasn't very productive today. And like, yes, it did challenge my brace, but I think I can do other things like those SB good mornings that will challenge my brace more betterly with less total fatigue, so I can come back after the cut and do better. And I think to kind of tie it all together, it's like the whole reason I started the team and I'm running the team and I'm treating the team the way that I am is that learning to recognize these things and learning to make these decisions, whether it is something related to cutting like I am now or something related to a meat prep, like if you haven't been through it enough to understand and know when you do need to pull back and when you need to push, it can be so freaking hard to figure it out on your own. And if you're struggling with knowing what accessory to do or knowing what to do about a weak point or knowing what to do about technical breakdown, like it's so difficult to figure it out. And my whole goal of the team is not to remove the difficulty, because I think the difficulty to a degree is necessary in order to develop as a human the way that you need to be able to hit and sustain really big totals. What I'm trying to do is not take away the difficulty, but make it feel less like you're pounding your head against a freaking wall in order to make progress. Because if instead of having to go through all of that trial and error and just being stuck for what feels like forever, if we can be like, hey, this is how you need to think about it, and then changing the thought process is the challenge that you have, you're going to be able to develop that resilience without needing to beat yourself up as bad for so many years. And it's just so cool to be able to see those people that I'm helping get better so quickly and become more resilient as both lifters and human beings. So I am stoked that going through this struggle, like the reason I think it's important for me to talk about the struggle and go through the struggle is that me going through and talking about it, it's going to help someone struggle less if they are in a similar spot. So peace out, guys. Have a good rest of your night.